Hey, I'm Finn,
My name is Jason,
and we're here for Hyperrealistic
and
Sandwiches.
we're Hyperrealistic Sandwiches.
It's gonna be a repeat of that one episode, isn't it?
Hi, guys. It's been a long time since we made a video.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks. I mean, we've been slacking, but besides that, we got a new space. We got a worser camera. Overall, I think we're doing pretty good.
I have, I think, a new coffee cup since the last time. It was my Gary Newman Berzerker coffee cup.
I just continued leeching off everyone else's cups. I haven't even gotten any of my own.
It's my Gary Newman Berzerker coffee cup. The Berzerker album apparently come from this book, Berzerker, made by Fred Saberhagen. This is not a cool old edition, but I bought this. I read about this. The best description I had of the Berzerkers is maybe they like to kill all of humanity because the humanity's made the robots, and then the robots realize that humanity is not that good for the universe, and so they try to kill them. And the best explanation of the Berzerkers I heard is not like the Terminator robots, but it's like the Cylons on the Battlestar Galactica, the old show.
Would you mind actually saying that for me? Because I do not know about Battlestar Galactica.
The Cylons. There, we'll put a picture of the Cylon, probably right here.
We'll just have that keyframe to your hand right there.
Now, look at the Cylon.
Wow.
Anyhow, the Cylons we were kind of like the Stormtroopers from Star Wars because there was an unlimited number of them. They all seemed to be the same, except in Star Wars, you sort of knew that the Stormtroopers had guys in there because of that scene where they're talking about, have you seen the new X-86 race thing? Oh, it's supposed to be really good. Wait, what was that? But for the Cylons, they're all just robots, and they got silver bodies, and they got a red light eye that goes, and they talk in the vocoder robot voice.
They all speak through text-to-speech.
I don't remember what they ever say, but it's probably pretty mean. But so they're just chasing down them humans from Battlestar Galactica who are trying to get away from them, and I think they're heading towards the Earth.
Neat. So you're saying that the Berzerkers, the best way to describe them is that they're like the Cylons, which are like the Stormtroopers.
Yeah, it's, I haven't read except the Cylons were robots.
Yeah.
The Berzerkers maybe I think were robots. Stormtroopers not robots.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like the evolution chain sort of.
Maybe. Here's a good picture of an old edition of Berzerker.
Okay, I'm just gonna bring up pictures here.
Good idea. So I got that. I want to watch the new Rosanne series, Roseanne Barr, because I always like Darlene because she's so cool and mean. And there's a new season, but I don't know how to watch it because I don't have any of the old-timey TVs from back then that are square but super heavy.
Yeah.
I think you got to watch that on account it's on like ABC, and I don't think they can do modern TVs.
Well, it seems like there's a really easy solution on how to figure this out. I'm gonna give you like 10 seconds.
You
like a countdown.
go to Twitter and tweet to Darlene, actress, and say, "Is it possible to watch your new show?
Does your show really exist?
How can I watch your How can I watch your podcast?
How does the TVs work? Do they work?
Do I have to buy the DVD when it comes out?
Does it even exist?
It's not on Netflix. It's not on Amazon Prime Digital Video.
If it's not on either of those, it's just completely fucking outside of your perception of reality.
Not on the YouTube or that archive site where I watch Faster Pussycat Go Go. Because when I sent a friend the Funky Man said you could get from there instead of you buy it for $35 on the Amazon on the DVD.
I like the real smooth way you're spinning that as opposed to, so my friend gave me this link where I could pirate this.
You're suggesting that I'm covering the act of piracy which is not a victim. It seemed like, is piracy a victimless crime?
I gotta say, man, it's not a victimless crime. Would you download a car? I like to think that you would.
I would until they download a car.
Yeah, okay. Can we actually talk about that ad for a second? Like, okay. Out of all the things that I think if I had the ability to fucking download it, like if a thing just pops up and says, would you like to fucking download an entire vehicle? Like, I'd click that shit fucking immediately, like, not even like a second.
Would you download ice cream?
I have to say no, I would not download ice cream. That's where I draw, that specifically is where I draw the line.
Intellectual property of ice cream.
Yeah, Mr. John Ice Cream.
This is bootleg ice cream.
Can we really trust the off-brand, like, Chinese knockoff ice cream?
Yeah.
Alright. When you, like, get the mic really up and they're ready to make this into an ASMR channel. You bring in additional audiences.
Let's see. So the reason we don't have to talk so much about the Cylons and what I think they are is on account I haven't read this book yet. If I read this book, then I would know and I'd be able to probably give you a better thing. But Berzerker has a good picture of Gary Newman on the cover. I think the first. Oh
yeah, Berzerker the album, right?
Berzerker the studio album. But then there's also, I think possibly, that was the first release on his own record label, Numa Records. Or else the next thing was a release on his own label, which was White Noise, live version of Berzerker Tour, which is actually really good. Even though the version I got is like on 2 CDs. And it has a booklet, but it doesn't have the paper in the back of the thing, the jewel box.
Yeah, you've been gypped.
But then I did get $15. I got the Berzerker Tour DVD. It's pretty good. Pretty good. There's two fiddle players at one point. 2 guys playing the fiddle.
Well, yeah, like one fiddle player wouldn't have been enough, but 2 really sold you on the album.
And then at one point, the 2 guys they're not playing the fiddles; they're playing the drums. Boom, boom, boom. Electronic Simmons drum. Boom, boom. We'll probably cut in a clip from that here.
Yeah, I mean, you're only supposed to use like the absolute necessary amount of like video clips and this kind of thing.
Why?
So that's why I'm saying the next 30 minutes of this will be replaced by just the Gary Newman like extra section.
Normally I get up and grab some more stuff to show you because there's a Gary Newman DVD over there. But I'm wired now. We're doing now more high tech. Yeah. We got
moving up in this world.
Worse camera, but we got lavalier microphones.
It was an equivalent exchange, a trade off. We dropped our like Samsung phone for the Mac laptop.
Is mine still recording? 11:40. I guess it's still recording. We're recording on 2 separate things because we don't have an adapter. Instead, we have 2.
It's fine. Like, I'm probably picking it up too. Because like, when we're at legit sit, I'm picking both of them. All right. That I ignore the fact that it's a fucking dumbass comparison to make. Okay.
A lot of stuff I would jump up and grab and start showing you, but I'm wired to a thing.
Yeah. Okay. I'm like holding my leg over his leg to try and like pin him down. Yeah. I don't know if I like the idea of him getting any more stuff and bringing it. You can see him kind of like leaning over there. Alright,
As of now, there's his books. I didn't read none of these books yet. He's good. I read one of his books. Look, Dream Master, Roger Zelazny, Brain Twister. I wrote this in 3 days. It's 2 dudes. These are their middle names, not the real names. Look at Conquer Chaos. Then look at their Conquering Chaos. Too good there. They're running away from chaos. I don't know how to twist this. There's a J.G. Ballard. He's kind of too fancy.
Yeah,
not that good. This is better. Look at this. Whoosh. Woo! I never heard of this author before.
I feel like if you ever need to sort of sum up what our relationship is, I feel like this is one sort of anecdote that really... Yeah, you immediately fucking throw the stand out.
That's too mainstream. No, it's too mainstream.
It's too good.
This was the first... One day I decided I wanted a Berzerker book. I went to the Elgin bookstore, and they actually had one, but this is like the 8th book in the thing, and I wasn't going to buy it on account it's got this 80s cover, not a 60s cover or whatever. But I got it because my friend the Funky Man. This is the only one he read too. Must have got a lot of distribution for some reason on this here one. But I got it because it's like $1 or whatever. But then I got all these others. Look, this one's by a lady. The lady science fiction. It's pretty badass, man. This is a character. There's some guys in a thing. I never saw this publisher before, so they probably went out of business right away. Here, I actually read this book recently. Is Friends from Boxes, because it was talked about in the Gary Newman Numanoids Facebook group, and then maybe people thought it was Our Friends Electric was based on. I don't think so, but it was real good, man.
Okay, is it real good for you, or is it real good for like?
It's almost good enough to still be in print, although it's not still in print. However, this here one, this is it's a pretty late book by this dude, but it's like still in print. Whenever I bought this in like 1993, but this is interesting. It's also interesting reading it next to Friends Coming Boxes. But anyway, this is interesting. Shockwave Rider. It sounds kind of dopey, but based on a Future Shock book by a guy who's like not a fiction writer. He's like an anthropologist. Anthropologist. Anyway, and he's like, hey man, stuff changes too fast. People can't keep up with it. They're in future shock. And this guy apparently, he wrote this book. It's about a guy who's like real good with the future and the shock and stuff. And he's like cool with it. And he's like riding it like a surfboard.
Did you read Shockwave Rider?
I read it.
Is that
all the way through to the very end, and it was good and interesting. And it's interesting to see these dudes in like 1962 or 1970, 76, 5, thinking about the future where everything's on the card and your whole life is trackable, and sometimes they're not that good. And then I got some other John Berner books because I thought he was my main guy that I liked a lot, but then I realized I never read his books at all except this one partly.
I was my main guy until I realized I had never read one of his books.
Here's a novel by the comic book guy Gardner Fox, The Arsenal of Miracles. Was this the key to the universe? I don't know because I never read that either, but I'm going to it. But this is 2 books in one. Oh.
Yeah, pass me the stand. I want to hold sign. I'm gonna fucking whip that shit out.
Look at this. I think I read another book over here.
Now this is the ultimate horror novel, according to the front.
Why did you keep writing them though?
Yeah, well, it was all downhill from there, honestly. This is the longest book ever made by fucking humans. I'm listening to
But this is the abridged version.
Yeah, this is the abridged version. I'm listening to the unabridged version because I fucking hate myself. And it's 47 hours long. I have listened to like 27 hours, I think. And like 2 things have happened. But I would say it's pretty good though. My hand looks really fucked up.
It's like a stand that you put a thing on?
Yeah, actually, I thought that.
It's like a microphone stand?
JoJo.
Full
circle.
Guys, don't. You may think this book gets bought by a lot of kids now, probably when they find it, but it's not a JoJo type stand. Not JoJo's.
Yeah, you got a couple of novels there. You got like there's a couple of weird spin-off novels for JoJo, and I can't remember either of their names. Golden Wind, I think, is one of them. I don't remember the last one because I know there's 2. Oh fuck! One of them follows Fugo.
Like a wind that has like urine in it.
But yeah, I mean, I think that's why it was localized like that. I think the original translation is a little less polite, but all right, I got a story for y'all. Okay, and so Dad specifically went on his way to cut me off one last time, I think. Okay, I feel like if you want to sort of understand any kind of like relationship between the 2 of us, the best thing I can think of is I came over here because I needed to print something, and I had like 10 minutes to be over here. And so he lets me in, and I go and I print my stuff, and I'm like, okay, I need to go because it's like 10. And he then fucking opens like a cupboard or some shit and pulls out like, it might have been the same pile of books actually. And I keep on trying to say, okay, I gotta go. And I'm there for fucking 30 minutes because he fucking actually won't let me leave. He's blocking the exits at this point. He's basically backed me into the basement, like
dramatic reenactment.
Yeah. Okay, no. I'm shutting this down.
Plus, this book, Roger Zelazny, I read one book of 9 Princes of Amber when I was a little kid, almost as young as Finley. And yeah, it was okay. Like I got his eyes gouged out, but they got better. And then
walked it off.
yeah, then anyway, this on account of that was okay. And I couldn't find the hardback book I had before. It was from Science Fiction Book Club, which is cool because in the countryside where I lived, you couldn't get the bookstore, and there was no internet yet. And so you get a Science Fiction Book Club membership, and you get these books cheap, but they were like real cheap hardback reprints. But anyway, so I read Nine Princess Amber book. I can't find it now. I want to read it again. So I bought a paperback copy. It's upstairs. I haven't read it again, but I got that upstairs, and then I still found out about this one. Gary Newman's song "I'm Render" from a Warriors album, which I think was right before Berzerker. "I'm Render" refers to a character in this named Render, and this is Dream Master.
I guess there are worse things he could have based it, worse books he could have based a song
Nancy
on.
Drew and the Mystery of the Old Basketball.
This is my album based off of Ready Player One.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Wait, is it not album based off? What's the dumbest book it could be based on?
Oh, what's it called? I don't remember exactly what it's called, but there's a gritty retelling of Alice in Wonderland that came out, and I read for school, and it was really bad. I think it's called Dorothy. But I might be wrong. And it was really bad.
That's funny because...
Well, I think we all said it.
Because there was a Dorothy in a little book you might remember called The Wizard of Oz.
Fuck no.
Did you guys know that there's 14 Wizard of Oz books by Frank Baum? I'm connected. Maybe next time.
You ripped my mic out sheer panic.
Maybe next time we'll do a review on the thing about the Wizard of Oz books. And plus, then other people start writing some Wizard of Oz books. I keep saying Wizard of Oz, just Oz book.
The Oz cinematic universe we got going on.
But don't be surprised or don't be disappointed because there's a Rick Springfield song entitled "Living in Oz." Maybe it's an album entitled "Living in Oz" or it's a song. And if you get that and you're hoping for Patrick Earl and Scarecrow and Rinky Dink of Oz and so forth, then not there. Because when Rick Springfield talk about living in Oz, he means Australia, which is where Rick Springfield really come from, even though he seems normal.
I feel like Australia is arguably more interesting and dangerous than Oz, though.
Maybe.
So I feel like that almost might be more.
It's too far away, though.
As opposed to the Oz, which is in a fucking another dimension.
It didn't take as long to get there, though. The balloon.
Well, if she was passed out, though,
Tornado.
You can pass out through a flight to Australia.
Yeah.
Oz really just is
18 hours to go to Japan or something, and Australia is too far down.
Where do you draw the line? There's a fucking patch of ocean 20 miles off of Japan. Where you're just
draw the line.
This is the fucking.
At Singapore, and then Australia is just like English people. We go to England, it'd be the same thing, I think. New Zealand. Don't go to New Zealand because it's even farther than Australia. Plus, it's slightly chilly like San Francisco.
It's slightly chilly.
Yeah, and it's just like America, basically. I think there's trees and stuff. So if you want to,
as opposed to
if you're going to see that, just go to America or England or something. But there's good reason to go to Japan though, because this is a super different. Closest you can get to go to another planet.
You just alienated every Japanese person that might fucking chance upon this
That's
video.
the best part about Japan is the people and the cool, crazy things that come from Japan. I guess there are places you can go to that are easier to be like other planets, but they like boring planets like Mars, where it's just dull sand. You go to Nevada.
Go to the Sahara Desert.
I don't know what that is exactly.
The ocean is just like water planet.
Yeah. Oh.
But,
okay.
All right. I.
Recently, I went to Android Developer Conference. It's not the developer conference to build androids because I'd never do that because they were murderous. But Android, like the phone Android thing. But in Chicago, it was entitled Chicago Roboto 2018. Here's my thing, my lanyard. You want to see one thing that's so smart about Chicago Roboto people? here's the front side of my badge that hangs around my neck on this deal. Here's the back side. Exactly the same. You know why that's smart? On account of you get it put on one side and you put it like that, and you're like, I'm going to meet people, they're going to read my thing, and I'm going to meet like a lot of contacts and networking. But then you look down after a whole day of that, and you find your badge is flipped around, and everybody's been looking at the back that says nothing, or maybe like some weird barcode or something. Anyway, they put the same thing on both sides because they know it would flip. So that was good. And I got this pretty lanyard. This lanyard means the green color means take my picture. I think it means maybe I'm cool with you, take my picture without asking me. And then there's two other colors. One color means take my picture, but ask me first. Or maybe ask me, and then I'll tell you.
Permission.
Maybe conditionally you take my picture. Other one means don't take my picture.
So, were you violating that rule when you just took that picture of the entire fucking concert hall thing?
Maybe.
With the Prince of Persia slide?
Oh, it's the best slide there.
This whole recording, I feel like, can really just be me somewhere as me tilting around trying to fucking sit straight on this couch.
I just noticed the same couch from previous Hyperrealistic Sandwich episode, but a new building around it.
Lord.
New building, but older building, 1903 construction. Notice the stuff around the architecture stuff.
You'll see there's a light.
There's a thing over back there, built-in desk thing.
You've got walls.
Plus, I think maybe pretty soon I'll make a tutorial presentation. I don't know, maybe I'll do it at Chicago Roboto about developing for Tizen, even though it's not Android, but it should be because it's an Android watch. It's a Samsung watch, but it's not Android. You got to develop a Tizen. It's pretty hard.
This is the worst tangent. I'm just gonna fucking cut this. All right. Yeah, I think the thing is that we sort of exhausted a lot of the stuff that we actually should have talked about here. That's always our problem.
What?
Well, no, because like
sometimes we did a hyperrealistic videos, and there was so much great content in it that I had to cut it and think maybe this one, I'll just cut here. Then we go into another bunch of good stuff. I had to save it for a later hyperrealistic sandwich, and maybe back then I'll make two of them at once and then stream them out one day and then the next one several days later. So it's like it's two different episodes. But yeah, consistent uploads. And that was 4 years ago. But
we've been saving. Yeah, this is
now there's a lot of that stuff that happened, and I got a lot of new books and stuff like that, and so we got a lot to cover, and we just sort of scratched the surface and stuff. So pretty soon we're gonna have new, more hyperrealistic sandwiches to go in much more detail about Berzerker book, and maybe by then I read it by then. This Chet Baker he made some good songs in 1958 or something or earlier. Anyway, he plays the trumpet. Plays pretty good. Some guys play the trumpet, it's too fancy. He plays good trumpet. I like that trumpet playing. Very sad sounding. And then when he sings, it's also pretty good too. But I bought this thing. It's like 5 CDs of somehow 8 albums, 5 CDs on here. Super, super cheap. Accidentally, I bought 2 of them. So I have one, and I think maybe I'd give it. It's got a book, but now I have to have glasses to read it. But anything, but I got 2 of these, and if you are our 100th subscriber, I'll give you the other one. It's real good. So my name is Jason.
Oh, I'm Finley.
And we're Hyperrealistic Sandwiches.
Hey, we did it that time.
And nice. I think we did this coordinated wave.
I feel like that's something that's remained in the past, to be honest.